Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I'm Sean Anderson, Most Valuable Podcast, and today we're continuing our NFL season predictions. I have the Detroit Lions, and last year I was not too high on the Lions, and I was completely wrong. So, Lions fans, if you're back, I'm sorry, I'm wrong, and I'll try to do a better time this time. At least get it right more this time, because I was right about the Steelers last year. Don't sleep on that. Anyways, let's jump on to the Lions Week 1. They are hosting the Cardinals. I'm not too high on the Cardinals. Carson Palmer's getting older. He's losing that arm accuracy. He's losing that arm power. I know they have David Johnson, who's a fantastic running back, but I look at Matt Stafford and the offensive weapons that he has. I think that he's going to be able to match the firepower of David Johnson, and I think that this defense of the Lions will be at least able to force enough turnovers to get a win for the Lions, especially at being at home. The Lions were really good at home last year. I think that trend's going to continue, and the Lions get the win in Week 1 over the Cardinals. Then Week 2, they're going to the Meadowlands Monday night game against the New York Football Giants. Ricky's really high on the Giants this year. I think you guys will get into that on the onside kick, but I'm not too high on the Giants. I know they made improvements to the wide receiving core, but I also look at this secondary for the Lions, and I think Zeke Ansah is going to be able to put pressure on Eli Manning, and we know that Eli Manning isn't the most secure quarterback when it comes to the ball. He's going to turn over the ball a ton. I think this Lions team will make them pay. I think Matt Stafford, again, like I said, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, probably a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. You look at Golden Tate, Marvin Jones, I'm going to forget all of their weapons because they have so many. Eric Ebron, Amir Abdullah, Theo Riddick, Zach Zenner. I mean, there's a ton of weapons here offensively, and I don't think that this Giants defense is going to be able to stop them enough. And I think that the Lions are going to get the win in Week 2. However, we go to Week 3, and it's the first loss for the Lions against the Falcons. I don't think I need to say too much. I just think the Falcons are better offensively and defensively against the Lions. I know it's the benefit to the Lions as they are hosting the Falcons, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the Falcons are going to win this game. Might be close, maybe 10-point, 7-point victory for the Falcons, but ultimately I will take the Falcons in this one. Week 4, you are going to Minnesota, and I think you're going to be splitting the season series with the Vikings. I think you're going to take your game at home, and the Vikings are going to take their game at home, so this is going to be a loss for you guys. You guys are going to go 2-2 in Week 4. Again, I think the Vikings might start out hot again like they did last year. Sam Bradford is going to be able to move the ball efficiently. They brought in Dalvin Cook to be in their running back. Obviously, they drafted him this year, and I think that that's going to be helpful to this offense, but ultimately this offensive line is kind of shaky. However, we saw last year the hot start that they got out to. They weren't as banged up. I think that's going to probably bode similarly for the Vikings this year. I'll give the Vikings the win in Week 4. Then moving on to Week 5, you're hosting the Panthers. Panthers obviously brought in Christian McCaffrey. They brought in Curtis Samuel, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to really push the needle again to get them back to the Super Bowl, even really back to the top of the NFC South, because I think the Bucs and Falcons are really improving. And I think that the Lions will be able to get a win here. I think it might be one of these close games like we saw last year where Cam Newton and McCaffrey are able to move the ball a lot, but also I look at the secondary for the Panthers, and it's something that I don't think that Matt Stafford can run all over. So I think Stafford's going to be able to move the ball through the air against this Panthers secondary, and I think the Lions are going to get the win at home in Week 5. Then Week 6, right before their bye week, they're taking on the Saints, who just came off their bye week. And this is a game where in the Mercedes-Benz Dome now, the Superdome, old Superdome, I think the Saints having the crowd support and being rested, I think Drew Brees will at least be able to move the ball on this Lions secondary. If you're able to get pressure on Drew Brees, I think that you might be able to win this game. I think this is definitely a loss that I have down for the Lions that could definitely flip to a win. However, I will take the Saints in Week 6. Week 7 is the bye for the Lions. Then you are rested and playing the Steelers, and this is probably where you guys are probably like, oh, well, we're not going to beat the Steelers, but I have you beating the Steelers. I think the Steelers are a top team in the AFC, but I also am high on the Lions. I think coming off that bye week is going to help the Lions and help them at least stop and slow down that Steelers offense, because yes, they have Antonio Bryant. Yes, they have Martavius Bryant. Yes, they have Le'Veon Bell. But Big Ben isn't the pinnacle of health here. And if Big Ben does go down, we see what's behind him in Landry Jones. And I think they picked up Joshua Dobbs as well in the draft. I'm not too trustworthy of that. And I just think the Steelers are a team that will make the playoffs. And I think they're really dangerous when healthy. But then again, if you do stop them and you're able to slow down this offense, you're able to put pressure on Big Ben, which I think Zeke Ansah can do, and this Lions front seven, I think that the Lions will be able to get a win, especially being at home and especially getting that break in Week 7. I think that Week 8 going into this, the Lions will be able to get the win over the Steelers. Week 9, you're playing a rested Packer team in Lambeau. Good luck. You're losing this game. Week 10, you're placing the Browns off a bye week, but it's the Browns, so you're getting a win at home. Week 11, you're taking on the Bears, and I want to say it's going to be a win. But you guys kick our ass constantly. So I'm going to go with the Lions in this one in Week 11. Week 12, I think you're going to split the series with the Vikings, like I said, so you're going to get the win against the Vikings in Week 12. Week 13, you are taking on the Ravens at home. I'm not too high on the Ravens. I think offensively you are more dangerous than the Ravens. I think defensively the Ravens aren't as strong as they used to be, and I think that's pretty apparent. I think the Lions are going to get the win in Week 13. Week 14, like I said, high on the Bucs. I think the Bucs have a very nice offense. I think Doug Martin's hopefully going to be able to be back and be efficient for them. Jameis Winston's growing as a quarterback. Mike Evans is super dangerous. He might be able to beat Darius Slay. And I think that ultimately, being in Tampa, this is going to be a game that the Lions lose. I'll give the win to Tampa. Week 15, I think this is Thanksgiving, if I'm doing my math right. Thanksgiving against the Bears. You guys are going to win this one, especially being in Detroit. Week 16 against the Bengals. I'm not too high on the Bengals. I think you're going to lose this one. I just ultimately think your offense is better than their offense and your defense is better than defense. I think it's just better team over a weaker team, and the Lions are going to win this one. And then Week 17 against the Packers. It is in Ford Field, which is good for you guys. You're going to lose this one. I think Aaron Rodgers and this Packer team, when healthy, is going to be dangerous. However, that puts you at 10-6, and that puts you in the last wild card spot in my playoffs. So Lions, you're going to the playoffs again. Hopefully, it will bode well for you, bode better for you this time around. So Lions going 10-6, 3-3 in the division, 6-6 in the conference, and being the last wild card spot in the NFC playoffs for myself. But tell me your predictions for the Lions down in the comments below. Do you think this team is going to be able to rekindle some of that magic last year? Do you think they're going to be relying on late-minute magic to be a playoff team again? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Like this video so you don't miss any of the other predictions we got coming out. We will see you next time.